start with understanding what is yield. I have told you what yield is in my previously recorded session. I have told you all even the type of yields which are there. I have explained you all the formulae as well. Those who have not checked that video, please go to Google Classroom, scroll down and check that video which tells you about the theoretical aspect of yield. Okay, so now let us move on to the practical aspect of understanding what yield is. I have told you in the previous class that value of bond is in terms of amount, whereas yield is in terms of a percentage. Okay, so let us take a first problem. Okay, check your classwork problem which I had given you all. In the classwork problem, the first problem, okay, it states that the issue price of the bond par face value is rupees 1000. So they have given us what? They have given us the par value or the face value which is nothing but rupees 1000. Okay. Secondly, it is issued for how many years? It is issued for 5 years. Okay, then coupon rate is what? 10%. So coupon rate is 10%. Okay, it is redeemed at 20% premium, they are saying. So it is redeemed at 20% premium. Okay, and they have asked us to calculate the yield to maturity and the value of bond. So let us start with understanding firstly what is the formula for yield to maturity and what is the formula for value of bond. Okay. Now if you want to find the value of bond, basically what are the things that we need? We have already covered in the previous session. Value of bond formula, we need a coupon, we need the discount rate and we need the redemption amount. Okay. Do we have everything over here? We don't know basically what is the discount rate over here, isn't it? They have given us everything except the discount rate. Coupon rate is not the discount rate. I have told you before, only don't get confused between discount rate and coupon rate, and don't get confused between redeemed at discount and discount rate. These are completely different things. Okay. If they specify that the bond is redeemed at discount or if it is redeemed at premium, then only it is redeemed at discount or redeemed at premium. If they are just specifying that this is the discount rate, then you should understand that that is R. Okay, that is the R with which we are going to discount the coupon and the redemption value to the present value. In order to determine the present value, I told you there is something called as discounting factor that we use. And for that purpose, we need a discounting rate. So if they specify it is a discount rate, don't get confused that the bond is discounted. Okay, the bond is not discounted. They should clearly specify that it is redeemed at discount or if it is redeemed at premium, they will clearly mention in the problem. Okay, so over here we don't have the discount rate at which, that is, we don't know the R. So how are we going to find the value of bond? Remember, value of bond formulate, value of bond is equal to coupon divided by 1 plus R the whole raised to n plus redemption value 1 plus R the whole raised to n. This R is only not given to us. This R only we need to find. And this R is only the YTM. Okay. I told you YTM is nothing but required rate of return. YTM is nothing but the rate at which you are going to discount your coupon and redemption value in order to find out the value of bond. Okay, so now we need to find the R first in order to find the value of bond. So let us solve and find R first. R is nothing but yield to maturity, that is YTM. Now what was the YTM formula that we saw? We saw in the previous recorded session where I had explained on the theoretical aspect the formula for YTM. YTM is equal to what? You all remember? Remember? Interest The entire equation, future value minus present value plus present value divided by 2. So over here, the interest amount plus the difference between future value and present value divided by n, the whole divided by the average returns of future value plus present value divided by 2 is going to give you the yield to maturity. Okay, clear? That is going to give you the yield to maturity. So now let us see how to find out everything. Okay, interest, you know how to find out. Interest is calculated on the face value. The coupon rate, that is 10%, we are going to multiply it on the face value, which is the 1000. So 1000 multiplied by 10% is going to give you the interest. Now the future value, they have said that it is redeemed at 20% premium. 20% premium on what? 20% premium on the face value, isn't it? 20% will be the premium on the face value. So what is going to be the redemption value? It is going to be 1000 into 20%, which is nothing but 200, right? That is going to be your premium. So the total redemption amount is going to be 1000, which is the normal amount, plus the premium, which is going to be 200. So the total amount is going to be 1200. How you got 1200? Because the bond value is redeemed at 20% premium. 20% premium on what? 20% premium on the face value. So 1000 multiplied by 20%, that is 200, is going to be your premium plus the face value, which is 1000. So the total redemption amount comes to 1200. That is going to be your future value minus the present value. Currently, what is the value? Currently, the value is only 1000. So that 1000 divided by n. N, it is given to us. N is nothing but number of years. So we divide it with 5. Since n is 5 years, n is 5 years, it is given over here, so we are dividing it with 5. Okay, now future value plus present value divided by 2, that is the average returns we are going to see. Future value we know it is 1200, present value we know it is 1000 divided by 2. Now we have to solve this. 1000 into 10% is 100 plus is going to be 200 divided by 5. 1200 plus 1000 divided by 2. It comes to around 1100. Okay, and after solving this equation, basically you will get 140 divided by 1100. You will get the YTM as, yes, the YTM is 12.72, which is approximately equal to 13%, which is approximately equal to 13%. So now we have got the YTM, which is nothing but the R. We have got the R value. So now let us try and find out the value of the bond. Okay, now this is the way I am going to find the value of R. R value is nothing but YTM. YTM is nothing but calculated using Redemption value is how much? 1200, because redemption value is nothing but it is redeemed at 20% premium. So 1200 multiplied by the present value interest factor at 13% for 5 years, it is coming to around 0.543. 0.543. So now solve this and you will get a total amount here as 351.7 plus 651.6. The total amount comes to around 1003.3. Okay. So how you know that this YTM is correct and it is not wrong? You check the face value, which is 1000. You check the total value of bond which you are getting. It is close by. You are not getting 100 rupees or 200 rupees. It is close by. It is 1003.3. This is also 1000. The face value is 1000. So you know clearly that your YTM is correct. Okay. How you know that your YTM is 13% is correct? When you find the value of bond using the YTM, that is 13%, you should get the value of bond which is nearby to the face value or the par value of the bond. Okay, you need to get the value close by, then you know that it is correct. Okay, so now let us move on to the next problem, that is the second problem. Okay, over here you are required to find the market price of rupees 1000 par value bond carrying a coupon rate of 14% and maturing after 5 years is rupees 1050. What is the YTM? Now over here the same procedure it is. You are going to find out first the YTM, the future value is given, the present value is given, the coupon rate is given, everything is given. You are going to find the value of YTM, then you are going to find the value of bond. Let us solve this problem. Okay, so what is given over here? The market price is 1000 only, that is the par value for the market price is 1000. The coupon rate is 14% over here. The coupon rate is 14%. Okay, and maturing after 5 years, number of years is 5 only, and the maturity value is coming to, or the redemption value is 1050, right? It is 1050. So they have asked us to find out what is YTM. Okay, and also the value of bond we will do to check whether the amount or the YTM is correct or not. Okay, because I told you, you can check if your YTM is correct if the value of bond is somewhere close by to the face value after using YTM. When you calculate the value of the bond using YTM as the interest, okay, or the rate of return, you should get the value of bond somewhere close by to the face value of the par value, which is 1000. If you get it that way, well and good, you about with this? Yes, solve it and tell me the total amount. I'm not going to solve it individually because this is just basic calculation. The total amount over here you will get is 150 divided by 1025. 1025. So the YTM or R, what you will get is 14.63%, which you can approximate it, but let us keep it this way only and let's proceed ahead. So this is your YTM. So now you have found out your YTM, which is nothing but 14% say. Okay. So now let us try to calculate the value of bond. You can approximate it to 15 also, or you can calculate it at 14 also. Okay. Basically, it will come close by to 1000 only. Then it is correct. Okay. So let us proceed ahead with calculation of the value of bond. This is a very simple problem, the same one which we solved before. Value of bond is equal to coupon into present value interest factor annuity at the rate of 14% for how many years? For 5 years. Plus maturity value into present value interest factor at the rate of 14% for 5 years. Right? So coupon is how much? Coupon is calculated directly 1000 into 14% multiplied with the present value interest factor annuity for 5 years at the rate of 14%, which comes to around 3.433. So it comes to around 3.433 plus maturity value. We know that the maturity value over here is given as 1050 multiplied by present value interest factor, which is 0.519. 0.519. So how much is it coming to? Can anyone tell me? We can solve this further and just check. The amount will come close by to 1000. Then it is correct. Okay. So this is your solution for YTM. Basic problems which I had given you all for homework as well. The same problems they are with different values. So it's very easy for you all to calculate. Okay, so I hope this is very clear with you all. Now let us move on to the next problem. Okay. Now in this problem basically yes. In this problem basically we are going to check YTM but through trial and error method. Okay, now this formula which I gave you all, right, it is in case where you have all these details, you can use it to find out the YTM. But what in case you don't have all the values which are very essential in order to find out the YTM, then you can use something called as trial and error method, or it is also called as interpolation method. So this method you all can use basically in order to calculate your YTM. Okay, look at the third illustration. Okay, we will be solving the third illustration using this interpolation method. Okay, and then I will solve the illustration 9. Okay, which I had given you all for your homework. 1 to 8 I had asked you all to do it as an assignment, and then the 9th problem, the valuation of bonds. The first assignment which I gave you all for valuation of bonds. Under that, the 9th problem I will be solving, so that is settled. Okay. So let us check illustration 3. What is given over here to us in illustration 3? Basically, consider a rupees 1000 par value bond carrying a coupon rate of 9%, maturing after 8 years. The bond is currently selling at rupees 800. What is the YTM on the bond? Over here actually all the details are given. You can directly use the formula and you can find out the YTM. But since I want you to understand how to go about with using interpolation method, we will do the interpolation method as well over here. Okay. So let us solve it using the interpolation method so that we can cross check whether if we use interpolation method are we getting by using YTM formulae. Let us understand whether the formulae and interpolation method, whether it gives us the correct interest, or sorry, the correct YTM or the rate of return or the required rate of return. Okay, so now let us start. What is given over here? The par value is given as 1000. The coupon rate is given as 9%. The number of years, that is N, is given as 8 years. And MN, that is maturity, that is currently it is selling at, it is given as, yeah, the current selling amount is given to us. It is currently selling at, they have told us, currently selling of the present value, it is giving us as 800. Okay, so currently it is selling at 800, they have told us. So let us try and check it out. Okay, so now let us write down the formula basically of YTM. What is the formula for YTM that we have seen? Let us write it down. Let us write down the formula for YTM and let us write down the formula for value of 1. If you want, let us try to solve it first using YTM so that it becomes very clear to us that it is the same. Okay. So let us solve it using the YTM first so that we know what is the interest rate, and we'll use the interpolation method. Okay, so YTM is nothing but interest plus future value minus present value, the whole divided by N, future value plus present value divided by 2. So the interest is how much? Calculated on the face value at 9%. Plus future value is how much? They have given us the future value over here. It is a par value bond. So the future value is going to be 1000. Minus the present value they have given us as 800 divided by N. N is what? 8 years. The whole divided by 1000 plus 800 divided by 2. That is the average returns. Okay. After solving this, what you will get? You will get an interest on the rate of return at 13.1%. Okay. Calculate it and check. It will come up to 13.1%. Okay. Just jot this down. Then we'll move ahead. We know the rate of return now. We can calculate the value of bond. But I want to show you all how to calculate the value of bond using interpolation method. Okay. Now we know the value of R. So now we can substitute this in the value of bond formula and we can find out the value of bond. But I want to show you all how to find out YTN through interpolation method, that is trial and error method. So let us check out that trial and error method also so that you all know both the methods. The trial method is little bit lengthy but it's easy as well. Okay, so this is how you find your YTM. Now let us start. Now we know the value of RO, but currently over here value of RO is not given. Okay. Now, they have said that, now see, without R we cannot find the present value interest annuity factor as well as the present value factor, right? So let's do this trial and error method. This trial and error method is also called as interpolation method. Okay, so now in interpolation method, let us start with a interest rate of say 12%. Now, we are just taking random rates over here. You can take 10, 11, 12, anything you can take and you can try this out. But I am taking at 12%. So let us begin with 12%. Okay. So let us begin let us try some different rate. Let us take 14% say. Okay, so let us take 14%. Okay, and let us find out the value of bond over here at 14%. The same repeat, 1000 into 9% it is coming to 90 multiplied by present value interest annuity factor at the rate of 14% for say 8 years. The same thing over here plus 1000 into present value interest and interest factor at the rate of 14% for 8 years. Okay, how much is it coming to? 90 multiplied by what is the present value annuity factor? It is 4.639 plus 1000 present value interest factor for 14% at 8 years is 0.351. 0.351. So the total amount is coming to around 768.1. It is coming too low. So now let us take, we skip from 13 to 14. Sorry, from 12 to 14. Now let us try 13 also. Okay. So let us write down the values that we have got first over here. Value of bond at 12% we got it as 851. Value of bond at 14% we got it as 768.1. Now value of bond at 13%, let us see how much we are getting. Okay, the same thing. Okay, value of bond at 13%. Okay, this will become 13%. This will also become 13%. Number of years remain same. Okay, how much are we getting over here? Coupon, we know coupon is 90 multiplied by present value annuity factor. Say 13% it is how much? 4.800. 4.800 plus redemption value. We know that the redemption value is around 1000 into present value interest factor, which is 0.376. That is present value interest factor at 13% for 8 years. So how much is it coming to? It is coming to around 880. So this is close by, right? This is close by to 800. Yes, we are doing good. So we have got the value at higher interest rate, and we have also got the value at lower interest rate. So we have got the value at higher interest rate and the value at lower interest rate. So now we can use the interpolation formula to find out the YTM. Now what is the interpolation formula? Let me write down for you all. I'll rub this. Okay, so now let me write down what is the interpolation formula. Okay, so the interpolation formula for YTM is nothing but lower interest rate plus, okay, where LIR is equal to lower interest rate, okay, plus we have present value at higher interest rate minus the present value at higher interest rate, present value at higher interest rate. Okay, whereas PO is equal to present value. Okay, divided by, okay, sorry, present value at lower interest rate, it is at lower interest rate divided by present value at lower interest rate minus present value at higher interest rate. Multiplied by difference in interest rates. Okay. So now let us try to solve this problem. Now we know what is the lower interest rate, isn't it? What is the lower interest rate? Since 12% we are getting a value which is completely too high or is deviating too much from the original amount, that is 851, we are throwing this out. We are taking only these two values. Okay, so this becomes a lower interest rate and this becomes a higher interest rate. Okay, so the lower interest rate is how much? 13%. So it is 0.13. Okay, plus present value at lower interest rate is how much? It is 808, right? And the present value is what? 800. Then present value at lower interest rate is how much? The present value at lower interest rate is 808. And the present value at higher interest rate is how much? Present value at higher interest rate is 768.1 multiplied by the difference. Difference in the interest rates is nothing but 0.13 minus 0.14. Whatever difference you are getting, that will be the difference in the interest rate, which will obviously be 1 only. So let us try to solve this ahead. And once you solve this, remember we have removed 12%. Why? Because the value of the bond at 12% is 851, and 851 is too much deviation from the current selling price, which is 800. So we have taken value of bond at 14% and value of bond at 13% because we believe that the YTM lies between 13% and 14%. It is somewhere between 13% and 14% is what we believe. So we have taken it as 13 and 14% because the value of bond at 13% and at 14% is not showing so much deviation as the value of bond is showing at 12%. So we have taken that and accordingly substituted. I told you LIR stands for lower interest rate. PVLIR stands for present value at lower interest rate. PO stands for current value, that is current selling price, that is PO. Present value at lower interest rate, that is PVLIR, minus the present value at higher interest rate, that is PVHIR, that is present value at higher interest rate, multiplied by difference in interest rates. Okay, so now let us solve this, and once you solve this in detail, once you have solved this, you will get the interest rate or the YTM as around 13.2%. And if I remember, using the YTM method, we got the R as 13.1%. So using the YTM formula, you are getting 13.1. Using the interpolation method, you are getting 13.2. So there is no much difference, it is somewhat same. So we know that using interpolation method as well as by using YTM method, you can get the same amount. The value of the interest rate, you will get the same using YTM or interpolation method. Okay, the illustration 9 we will solve in the next class.